Welcome to this new lecture series, Terrorism. This will come under playlist of India's internal security. We have taken this lecture separately and in different section because it has a wide spread with the respect of India, because India is sandwiched between two different terrorism kind of outfits. They are deployed from our neighboring states like Pakistan and other neighboring states from the Sri Lanka, sometimes from China. These all are getting funds and all. So we will discuss all those things in the coming session. So in this part we will discuss the introductory session, what is terrorism and how India is sandwiched between two crescent. Moving ahead, what do you understand by terrorism? How we will define a term that is terrorism and to whom we will call terrorism. Just consider a situation before 1947. Our various freedom fighters like Bhagat Singh and all, they fought for our country. For us they are revolutionary hero. But for British, they were nothing but a terrorist. Okay, for them they are nothing but terrorist. So the terrorist can be different from different eye, different perspective. The definition of a terrorist can be different from different perspective. So that's what it is in the slide. That definition of terrorism and insurgent outfits activities are based upon the one's perspective, and one's man revolutionary, for others he will be terrorist. For one's perspective, Bhagat Singh was revolutionary, and for other he was terrorist. For one's man he was freedom fighter, for others he was as an insurgent outfit or a terrorist. Okay, so I have made a separate lecture on insurgent activities also. You can go on my channel, you can watch Nagaland, Manipur, Northeast insurgency and all. I have discussed all those things. Just go to on the playlist of internal security, you will find all those things. This series is just pointed with the topic terrorism. Okay, so we will discuss all those separate countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all those things separately. Okay, so terrorism is an act of using indiscriminate violence against a careful selected target in order to strike fear in the hearts and minds of a people, and this is done in order to carry forward a political or religious agenda. Whenever terrorism occurs, they have one particular agenda, and this can be based upon political or religious agenda. I will pause it here and I will again request you please go through this lecture till the end, because unless and until you won't go to the end with this lecture, you won't be able to understand this introductory session. Okay, so I will request you to just stick with this lecture and keep a thorough eye on the session. So the idea of terrorism is firmly rooted on the ideological foundation. So see, it is like the terrorism activity, there will be certain aim. A particular person or a leader or an organization will be running this session, will run this agendas from others person to carry that their forward their political agenda. It may be respected within their countries or outside their countries. Okay, so the idea of terrorism is firmly rooted on an ideological foundation. On what foundation you are fighting? That why you want to create attack on a particular things. Like some outfits want the liberation of Jammu and Kashmir from India. Like if we talk from the perspective of Pakistan, they want liberation of Jammu Kashmir from India, and some want a safe haven from different countries, like when the NSCN attack, NSCN Isaac Move faction, that is Northeast insurgencies outfits, they will get safe haven from other countries. So we want protection from those kind of outfits. So for that reason also they will be acting as a terrorism. Okay, so there will be a certain motive for them, like those northeast insurgent outfits, they want what? They want liberation of their region. They don't want outsider to interfere with it. Like Nagaland based insurgent outfits, that was NSCN, they want liberation of Nagaland. So for them this was the target. Okay, so different groups have different targets, so the ideology could be different. So ideologies can be based upon political, religious, racial, ethnic superiority. They even try to kill as many as people as they can, like such as in Islamic State. Like if we see Kashmir, that is Pakistan based outfits, they have changed multiple times their agendas. Like in the 2002 to 2008 years, we will see lots of urban based cities attack. Earlier it was border based attack. Then after, when the international pressure came, then they started to attack on the military based. Like in after 2014 or 2011, we will see lots of military attacks. On the military attacks have been done by terrorists. They move their agenda from attacking the innocent people, and they have started to attack on our military people. That's why we have seen surgical strike from India. So this is what, that as per the time the agendas change, their way of attack has been changed. So the main motive, the ideology, the foundation of the ideology may be political, religious, racial or ethnic, and in that way, as per their agenda, they will try to kill as many people as they can, or they can choose another way. Okay, like in the people, it may be civilians, it may be military people. Okay, like such as Islamic State, like Ulfa, United Liberation Frontier of Assam outfits, it was the northeast insurgency, I have explained it. Then NSCN, they want the liberation of Nagaland, etc. All other outfits. NSCN have two factions, like Isaac Mewar faction and the Kaplang faction. Okay, so these outfits were like, they were now given as a terrorist, like they start to create terror in the people, terror in the government and all. Okay, so but ultimately at the end, we can't connect terrorism with a particular religion, as we find kind of extremism in every religion. This is a very important line. You have to remember that every time whenever a terrorist kind of activity happen, generally now the current medias or the political agendas try to connect it with the religious outfits. But we have to understand, this terrorism is not connected with a particular religion, but it is connected with a kind of extremism connected with the religious outfits. It can be that extremism religious outfits, it can be Hindu, it can be Muslim, it can be Buddhism, it can be Sikhism, and it can be also, yeah, Sikhism, same thing. I was going to tell that Sikhism. So whenever something extreme kind of things is attached, ultimately it will take a terror kind of outfits. Extremism, like I have explained in the lecture, like left extremism and right extremism. So when these extremism kind of situations happen, then it will be connected with the terrorism, like they want to spread their religious outfits. Like if extremism is connected with the Hindu, they will try to create, everybody will be Bhagwadhari, nobody should eat cow, nobody should kill cow. Then Muslim people will be like, they want to spread Islam as possible as they can, if they have extremist kind of things attached. Buddhism people will have the same perspective, Sikhism people will have the same perspective. So ultimately, when you are attaching extremism kind of things in any religion, it is not only with the Islamics and all, that normally we have seen terrorists from the Islamists only because they are supplied from Pakistan. That's why, and most of the people in the Pakistan are Muslim based. That's why we connect it with the media connects it with Islamics and all. But we have to understand this is not related with the religions outfits. It is related with the extremism. In spite of using the word religion, you have to use the word extremism, and this extremism is connected with even Hindu also, even Muslim also, even Buddhism also, and even Sikhism also. That's what I want to explain it here. This topic initially I thought I should not touch, but I have taken it and I have taken a neutral perspective to explain it. Okay. So moving ahead, so what is the issue with India? Actually, India is surrounded with two crescent. One is golden crescent and another is triangle crescent. Okay, and these two outfits, like this India is sandwiched between these two outfits. That's why India has a too much challenge. India has a challenging situation to tackle with their neighbors. Okay, so if we see, India is located in one of the most volatile regions of the world. This is due to the presence of nothing but two global hubs of crime in India's neighborhood. We have this golden crescent that is joining with the Iran, Afghanistan and Pakistan, and the another one will be your that Myanmar, then Thailand, Laos and Vietnam. This form your golden triangle crescent. See, the issue is that these two have a two different perspective. These two have two different terrorism perspective. So in the golden perspective, we will see that this crescent is a major hub for the opium cultivation, drug and weapons trafficking, and it was mainly towards the Indian eastern border, and like India's eastern border, like if we connect with this, then this one for them it was the eastern border. So these things are supplied from the region. That's why there is one challenge with tackling with this one. Even opium and drugs are not so much challenge for India, but weapons trafficking is much challenging for India. Ultimately, opium and drugs are also one of the major challenge that we can't ignore. Another, we have a golden crescent, that is Myanmar, Thailand, Laos and Vietnam, that is Burma, Thailand, Laos and Vietnam. So this is the another global hub for the trade in narcotics and weapons trafficking. That's why recently in the news, India is militarizing the Andaman and Nicobar island. Andaman and Nicobar. That's why India is giving a military presence in those regions, so that India will checks over in this region, will create check over this region. And there is one international agenda also, that because of that presence of military in that region, it will create a global image, as a global powerful image of India in this Indian oceans and all. Okay, so that is one geopolitical perspective of India. So the two other major hubs for drug trafficking, which is Mexico and Colombia, but with the regards in India, that like this is telling with a global perspective that the two major hubs for drugs trafficking is Mexico and Colombia, but with regards to India, we have a golden crescent and triangle that are the major threat for us. And since India is geographically sandwiched between these two, thus India became more vulnerable to terrorism and radicalism. Okay, so I hope you have understand all those perspectives. So if we see in this map, we will see that India is surrounded, that these are the outfits that is surrounded with India that creates terrorism in India, and India is tackling with those things from many decades. And ultimately right now we have overcome many challenges through our international strategies, like we have done surgical strikes also, and these things have created a terror in our neighbors that this new India will not be silent. This new India will have changed its agenda, will have changed its political perspective, changed its international political perspective, and now this new India will reply back if any action has been, if certain action has been taken. Initially we have seen that lots of urban cities terrorism attacks happened in the 2002-2008 regions outfits. In those regions we have seen that innocent people have been killed, but after that we have seen that when the international pressure have been given by USA and all, then they have changed its agenda and they started to attack on military outfits, because if they kill the innocent civilians, the sympathy was collected and the global attention was there. But when they kill the military outfits, that much of sympathy is not being collected. That's what the challenge for us right now. So the India is surrounded with this number of terrorism outfits from all the sides. Like in the Sri Lanka, it is LTTE, that Liberation Tiger of Tamil Elam's land. Their main aim is for create a Tamil Elam land. Then if we see in the Gilgit Baltistan, then in the Khyber Pakistan regions, these are the outfits. Then in the northeast insurgency we will see that ULFA, NDFB and all, United Liberation Frontier for Assam and all. Then in Bihar we will see CPI, Maoist, that Maoism and Naxalism kind of things we will see in Bihar and West Bengal. Then in Nagaland, NSC and Khaplang faction, Isaac Muba faction and all. Then Manipur, then UNLF, these are the different outfits present there. Meghalayas, Bangladesh, in the Bangladesh also there were Harkat ul Jihad Islamic, then Jamaatullah Mujahideen Bangladesh, Indian Mujahideen also we will see in this lecture. So these are the outfits. I will request you to go through this map once. No need to remember this. This was just an introduction, just to show you how the India is that surrounded with all those outfits, and India is tackling with these things. Okay, so I hope you have understand this lecture. In the second series we will take that, in the second lecture we will take each neighboring state separately, each neighboring country separately, what are the terrorist outfits have been settled on those land. Okay, please feel free to give any suggestions and ping on my Twitter handle, it is given in the description. Please like and subscribe. Your subscription is a form of payment for me. Ping me for any help. Thank you.